Hey, what's going on? Charles Austin here, and let's be fit forever. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this term, peristalsis. Ooh, I had to practice it a little bit before I even got ready to do this stream with y'all today. We'll talk a little bit about this term, peristalsis. Why is it important for your overall health? What is it? And some of the reasons why you should actually learn the word, understand the word, and tell a friend or 1,000 about the word. But hey, before we jump in, as always, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. All you got to do is click that little logo right below me. It's right down there. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so that you're always up to date with the latest content here on my channel. So remember, streams every Monday and Wednesday live at 6 p.m. and also Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central Time as well. I'm a little bit late today. Lazy Saturday. Sometimes it bees that way. But we'll always be talking healthy topics, about your health, your fitness, your nutrition, your diet, weight loss, muscles, all these different things so you can live your best life, all right, and be fit forever. So, as always, let's go ahead and dive right on in to today's topic. Like I said, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this term, peristalsis, right? Again, I told you I had to practice it a little bit. So, let's kind of define, like, what is this, right? So, as it says right here, what is peristalsis, right? So this basically is a movement that refers to the contraction and relaxation of the food in your esophagus, as it's forced down your GI tract to the stomach, right? This movement is involuntary and is necessary for the movement of food down the stomach, down the bowels, and eventually as it travels to its ultimate destination, the toilet, right? So long story short, y'all, if we can make this very, very simple, long story short, what we're talking about here is basically if whenever you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever, whenever you eat, or even whenever you drink, right? What happens is obviously you take that food in, you chew it up, and then you swallow, right? Now, after you swallow it, I guess, nobody really pays attention to what goes on with the food, but basically it has to work its way down your esophagus, down into your stomach, through your intestines until eventually it comes out, right? So basically this process takes time, okay? There are muscle contractions, there are movements that have to take place, right? So if we go back to the screen here, as you can see, as it's moving its way down, right? This is, the yellow part that you can see here is, your food bolus, right? As it's working its way down, this doesn't just happen. You don't just say, oh, gravity will take it from here. No, it's not that simple, right? So it's working its way down through your stomach, right? And then it's going through your intestine, right? And then eventually it works its way out into the toilet. And this process takes time and it takes muscular contraction. So as it said here before, this process is involuntary. Okay, it's not anything that we consciously control. It's not anything that we can force to happen sooner. It's not anything that we can necessarily do to ease the process. Or is it? Do the foods that we eat actually play a role in how passive this process is? We'll get into that in just a second, right? Let's see here. There it is. Oh, sorry. So are there certain foods that can stimulate this motion? So I've already provided a video on bowel movements. I've put a link to that video in the description of this video. And also my most recent video was on leaky gut syndrome, right? Where we talked about small to large cracks in our GI tract and our intestinal lining. And I also provided a link to that video as well. So this is right up the alley of both of those topics, right? When we eat our food, when we drink our beverages, we want that food to move passively without a lot of resistance through our GI tract. We want our intestines to be able to take in all of that nutrition, so that we're always living our best life, being our healthiest self, right? So the question is, are there certain foods that can stimulate this motion, right? Now, before I get to this slide here, I wanted to go somewhere else. All right, before I lose y'all, I want to explain why this is something that we should actually be concerned with, right? So I'm going to go here to the CDC, okay? And what we have here, oops, this is actually the wrong, there we go, that's the one we want. I'm gonna go to CDC, right? So what we have here is the most updated list of the leading causes of death for humans in the United States, right? And if you were to look up this list for the causes of death for humans globally, you're going to see a list that's pretty similar. There's a few changes, but like the top stays about the same, right? It doesn't matter where you live on planet Earth. Heart disease is the #1 killer of humans on planet Earth, right? And if we look at this, we're at approaching 700,000 people every single year, just in the United States, die from heart disease, right? And as you can see, following up with a close second, cancer, 602,350, as you can see there for the latest data. So we're looking at, what is that, about 1.3 million between both of these alone, where people are dying from heart disease and cancer, right? So why is that even important, right? We're talking about eating and food and drinking food and how it moves through our GI tract. Why does that matter, right? Well, let's go and look at the reasons why are some of the causes of heart disease, right? So again, as previously stated, and I can't state this enough, on my social media, whenever I'm on Facebook, whenever I'm on Instagram, whenever I'm on Twitter, I find myself finding a way to mention that heart disease kills more people on planet Earth than anything else, right? And the reason why I focus on that so much is just because heart disease is one of the most preventable diseases that has ever existed, right? Along with things like type 2 diabetes and obesity and stuff like that. It literally is something that you wake up every day, and the choices that you make, you decide that, hey, I want heart disease, right? So this is why I tend to focus on this one a lot, right? So what are some of the reasons why Americans have heart disease, right? So if we look at this, we look at the first few causes, right? High blood pressure increases your risk. So if you're somebody who suffers from hypertension, I did a video on hypertension as well. Please feel free to check that out. High blood cholesterol. I did a video on blood cholesterol and dyslipidemia. Please feel free to check that out. All right. Smoking as well. These are all things that increase our risk for heart disease, right? But specifically, we want to focus on high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, okay? Now, trust me, I'm taking this somewhere, all right? Now, also look at these other things. If you're somebody who suffers from diabetes, right? If you're somebody who is overweight or obese, right? And then look at this. Other things include unhealthy diet, right? So these are all things that are going to increase your risk for heart disease, right? And as we've already stated, yes, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you again. We're talking about 700,000 people right here that are dying every year. So back to the topic at hand. We were talking about this term peristalsis. Remember, that's about how the involuntary contractions that allow food to move throughout our digestive system to it eventually makes its home to the toilet, right? So the question was, are there foods that stimulate this process, right? So again, let's go down here. So where does peristalsis begin? Well, this is when you have a bolus, and this is basically the food that you chew up in your mouth. You form this little round ball type thing, and then you swallow it, right? And this triggers a reflex of smooth muscle action, acids, and different enzymes that help digest food, right? And then later on, it passes through our small intestine. Eventually, it gets out, right? So what are some of the factors that influence peristalsis, right? So where is it? Here it is. So yes, you knew where I was going right there. If this is your first time watching me on video, trust me, I'm gonna always find a way to bring nutrition to the topic. I'll do my best if I can, right? But yes, nutrition is gonna play an important role in peristalsis, right? So you have things like dietary fiber. And where do we find dietary fiber? And I still have not done my video on fiber. It's coming. I just have to figure out exactly the way I want to go. But anyway, dietary fiber, of course, is found in whole, fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, etc., right? Now, if we're thinking about that, right, we're thinking about things like, apples, bananas, strawberries, blueberries, right? Carrots, celery, tomatoes, bell peppers, right? Avocado, the list goes on and on, right? Whole grains, we're talking about oats and barley and 100% whole wheat, not that processed bleached wheat that we eat, different types of rice and grains, right? These are the types of foods that we're talking about when we're talking about stimulating peristalsis, right? So if you're talking about, so this stimulates peristalsis, which also helps flush out fats and waste. Now, again, I did my video on bowel movements, and the reason why I talked about that being so important is because the whole point of this word that I keep saying here that I probably mispronounced a couple of times is that you have to make sure that you flush out the fats that we don't need in our body and the waste that we don't need in our body, okay? Don't worry, I'm going to make that connection to heart disease in just a second, right? What else helps aid our peristalsis, right? So we have things like drinking plenty of fluids, right? And when we say fluids, we don't want to say, well, any type of fluid, right? We're generally talking about water, okay, or tea, or 100% juices that are naturally and doesn't have any added sugar, things like that, right? So that's another thing. So again, if we're talking about the things that help peristalsis, what about the stuff that doesn't help it, right? Well, here we go. You already knew where we're going. Foods low in fiber, and those foods include things like meat and dairy, okay? This is where we start. Okay, I've already started my series on dairy is death. I've made 2 videos about dairy is death already. There'll be several more to come, but I can't stress this enough. Dairy is literally the last thing you should ever put in your mouth. It should never be on your plate. It shouldn't be in your refrigerator. It shouldn't be in your pantry, wherever. You don't need dairy, right? But also meat, right? Meat and dairy are 2 of the worst things you can consume as far as peristalsis is concerned, because these things are going to inhibit it, all right? It's going to make it harder for food to process through your GI tract and increase the risk of things like constipation and infrequent bowel movements, right? Also things like refined carbohydrates. So now we're talking about all the processed sugars and all the packaged foods and all those different things, right? All of those things pass slowly through your digestive tract, and they slow peristalsis. So as it says here, if you know for a fact, and darn it, I don't have a copy on me right now, but in my book, The 85-15 Diet Plan, one of the things I did mention is that, hey, if you know for a fact that you are going to eat low fiber foods, right? All right, you're going to have to eat those with high fiber sources, right? All right. Free tip right there, okay? So keep that in mind. So where is the connection? And yes, also, in addition to bad dietary habits, right? If we know we're eating a diet that's, we're not drinking a lot of water, we're not eating a lot of fiber, and then also we're just sitting around being sedentary. Also, physical inactivity can slow your peristaltic action, right? So obviously, the benefits of exercise are well documented, right? And here's just another one. So as it says here, engaging in regular exercise speeds up your metabolism, stimulates your digestive process. Absolutely. Okay. So there's never a reason for you to say, I guess I won't exercise today. Never a good reason. So the benefits of exercise are many. All right. So real quick as we get ready to wrap up. So it's a quick one today, y'all. But real quick as we get ready to wrap up, what are the main connections, right? I talked about the leading causes of death and why we talked about heart disease, right? And then we talked about some of the risks. So if you are somebody who has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetic, overweight, all those different things are going to increase your risk for heart disease, right? So we go here and we're talking about the fact that, hey, peristalsis is important for moving food through our body, absorbing nutrition, removing, look at this, where is it at? Flushing out fats and waste, right? And then specifically this word is very important when it comes to the second leading cause of death, cancer. All right, I can't stress this enough, right? People don't like to talk about bowel movements, but bowel movements literally get rid of waste. And when we have waste build up in our body for too long, one of the results sometimes is cancer, right? Many people assume that cancer is just one of those things that, oh, luck of the draw. It's not that simple. It's not how it works. A lot of times it's based on the things that we do. And hey, one of those things that we can do is increase our regularity with removing waste from our body, right? But again, if we're specifically talking about heart disease, all right, if we're flushing out fats, if we're getting rid of all the stuff our body doesn't need, we're going to be decreasing our risk, right? If we're regularly flushing out things that we don't need, we're going to be decreasing our risk for things like obesity, right? Diabetes, right? I did a video on diabetes as well, how to eliminate diabetes without medication. Please feel free to check that out. I talked about the fact that fiber is one of the most important things somebody can do to help reduce their risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Why? Because it's going to help lower your blood sugar, help lower your blood sugar spikes, right? Well, obviously, if we're eating foods that are high in fiber, fresh fruits and vegetables, we're going to be reducing our risk for being overweight or obese. All right, high blood pressure. All right. Well, obviously, if we're eating foods that are low in sodium, high in fiber, fresh fruits and vegetables, phytochemicals, all those different things, we're going to be reducing our risk for high blood pressure. Well, here we go again. Obviously, if we're eating foods that are low in cholesterol, low in fat, high in fiber, we're going to be reducing our risk for high blood cholesterol, right? So, what do all these things have to do? Again, we're talking about risk factors for heart disease, right? We already know that heart disease is the #1 killer. We're trying to get that number down, right? You shouldn't have to be somebody who says, oh, I left this earth because of heart disease, but I could have done something differently, right? So again, if we're talking about peristalsis, again, we're talking about the free movement. We're talking about not inhibiting this process. We want this process to be, what's the word here? We want this process to be passive, simple, easy, and effective, right? So again, we want to make sure that we're eating the foods that can influence this positively. So again, one more time, high fiber foods, whole fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, things like that. And we want to make sure we're watching out for the foods that are low in fiber, like milk and dairy, and also all of those processed and refined sugars and carbohydrates. All right. Whew. Good one. Good quick one today. So let's do a quick review real quick, y'all. So again, we started out just by defining this peristalsis, right? So as it says here, this is a series of wave-like contractions of the muscles that are involved in food movement and the movement of other liquid particles in the digestive tract to various processing organs that are located in the digestive system, right? And I can't stress, this is a whole lot of words here, right? But basically what we're saying is when you take in food, all right, you take in food in order to get nutrition, your vitamins, your minerals, right? Your carbs, fats, proteins, all these things that different parts of your body needs, right? In order for different parts of your body to get these nutrients that they need, it has to be properly digested, right? In order for things to properly be digested, we need the free movement of that food throughout our GI tract. If we have any blockages, any inhibition of this free movement, we're going to have a problem with our body absorbing the nutrition that we need. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those muscular contractions that take place in our esophagus and our digestive tract all the way throughout until it gets to its ultimate destination, which is, you guessed it, the toilet, right? So then we talked about certain foods that can inhibit and help the process. So obviously you want to eat plenty of things with fiber. We're talking about fresh fruits and vegetables. And also you want to limit things like milk, dairy, and processed sugars. Why are we even concerned about peristalsis? Well, the more passive this process is, the more effective this process it is, the less likely you're going to be somebody on this list that dies from heart disease, right? And we know for a fact eating all of those healthy types of foods, right, are going to reduce your risk for things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart diabetes, and overweight, and obesity. And those are all things that contribute to heart disease. Time for a little Q&A. All right. At the end of every stream, we always do a Q&A. Hey, you can ask me anything. If it has something to do with this topic, if it has something to do with the topic that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, any of those health, fitness, exercise, right? Those weight loss questions, those, hey, maybe I want to gain healthy weight. How do I train my abs? How do I train my legs? All these different things. I'm your health and fitness guy. Go ahead. Ask me anything. Let me go ahead and check my social and my phone here too. Woohoo. Last 3 videos about bowel movements and poop, right? Why? Yeah, if I looked at it, once I looked at I don't know if that was a question, but once I looked at it and I noticed that I had a video on bowel movements, then my next video was on leaky gut, right? I did that one on Wednesday, and today I'm talking about peristalsis. So I think for now I'm probably going to take a break on talking about your intestines and your digestive tract. But hey, those are 3 great videos to check out because boy, are they important for your overall health. So yeah, being regular bowel movement is super important. All right. I've been trying to tone my lower abs. Oh, yeah, I guess they meant abs. Yeah, you meant abs. They just spelled it wrong. I've been trying to tone my lower abs. Been having some trouble. Best advice. So the thing about lower abs, stay away from sit-ups. Matter of fact, one of the first videos I did when I started doing these regular streams was about why sit-ups don't work. So by all means, feel free to check out that video about why you shouldn't do sit-ups when you're training your abs. But specifically for your lower abs, you're going to want to focus on things that, let me go ahead and take this thing off here so I can get that out of there. Yeah, you're going to want to focus on things that cause your hips and your legs to be elevated off the ground. Some simple things would be leg raises. I wonder if I can find that for you real quick. I mean, I'm sure I can do a quick little, and y'all can see how easy this is sometimes to find. Right? Yeah, right? I don't know. I haven't played this video, but I wonder what's going to happen. Let's see. All right. Hey. Yeah, man. So this is great. So she's doing leg raises, right? This is like perfect. All right. Well, if you go ahead and go through it. But this is a great exercise for working your lower abs. It's simple. You can literally do it anywhere. And you can do it with your legs straight, as you see right here. Or you can even do these with, I think she kind of started out. Let's see where she started out. You can also do this with your knees bent. All right. So that'd be another good one to do. If you're somebody who's starting out, you can do the same motion with your knees bent or your knees straight. What's another good one? Real quick. I'm just going to find one more real quick. Right. You know, again, I haven't looked at any of these videos, y'all. So I'm just like literally doing this as it comes up. Yeah, here we go. Now, the only thing about this one that I don't necessarily like is I don't like her pace. One of the things I always coach is that you're going to want to make sure that you're in a controlled motion when you're doing exercises with your core and your abs. But yeah, bicycle abs, again, look, I told you already, you're going to want to focus on things that keep your legs and your hips elevated. And clearly this is a good exercise there where you're just kind of twisting back and forth. If I were you, I would do this one slowing down a little bit. Ooh, now I like that. They slowed the video down. So I would definitely try to do something like that. So again, just to answer your question again, anything where you're focused on keeping your legs elevated and you're engaging those abdominals closer to your navel, that's what I would be trying to focus on there. And then, just focus on pace and consistency. Consistency is key. Do something every day. Find some time, and you'll start to see some results. All right. I think we're going to stop it there. I did want to tell y'all real quick that I am currently in the process. I'm going to go ahead and there we go. So again, you can go to fitnesscharles.com right now. That's me. That's when I had less hair, right? And you can literally hit the subscribe button right there on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, I did want to talk about Fit Forever Family real quick. I'm in the process of making some additions to this program. I have a date in mind to have this ready for launch. But basically, this is my 12-week transformation experience that's designed to help you lose, anywhere between 10 and 30 pounds here in 90 days. So we're getting ready to start launching that out, getting that out real soon. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be making some changes here, to get you rolling with the ability to get you a custom-made program for yourself. Figure out exactly how you should eat, how you should train, how you should live forever. The reason why I call this Fit Forever Family, because I'm all about training for lifestyle habits for life, right? It's not about any quick fixes. It's about really making changes forever. So just want to throw that plug out there. Also, again, if you're on fitnesscharles.com, visit the, I did all of that talking. I wasn't even on screen share. Let's go back there real quick. So we were talking about this right here, right? But again, if you're on fitnesscharles.com, you can check out my books, 85-15 Diet Plan, also the toilet book as well. for more information, specific information about those topics there. All right. So as always, like I said, subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn your notifications on, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fitness Charles. Live streams every Monday, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central Time. I will see y'all next time. Live happy, live healthy, be your best self. Have a good weekend.